Yo, what's up guys, it's HexxInkworks, and today I'll be doing an unboxing video, and the unboxing is a package that Montana Cans has generously sent to me for me to review their products. With Montana Cans being based in Germany, they asked their UK distributor, being Global Art Supplies, to send me this package. So I'll just open it now and let's see what we have in it. Now first things first, we have a big bag of different nibs here, and this will be an indication as to what's in the rest of the parcel. Now I'll just do a quick run through of the nibs and what markers they're for. Now I've split these nibs into two different groups, each group being a different line of marker. The group on the left is for the Montana Acrylic range, and the group on the right is for the Montana Black range. First I'll review the Acrylic 2mm replacement nibs. These are just general run-of-the-mill 2mm round tip nibs. Now there's the Acrylic 6mm chisel nibs, and these are basically the same as the 2mm nibs, apart from they've just been formed into a chisel tip shape. Thirdly, we have the 15mm multi-line nibs, which are essentially just a normal 15mm nib, apart from they've got a slit in the middle causing two different lines instead of one. The general gist of it is when you draw one line, it will then create a copy of the same line parallel to it. Lastly, from the acrylic range, we have the Acrylic Applicator Tip Set. Now this is just basically a mop nib to be able to put into the little Montana acrylic bottles, which I think is a really nifty idea. Now the second group of nibs is the Montana Black nibs, and I generally prefer these types of nibs. This is a round tip shaped nib just with a double-sided chisel tip on it. The second type of nib is a standard 15mm nib. But also what I prefer about these nibs is that they're essentially double-sided, so if you wear down one side dramatically, then you can just flip it over to the other side. And then finally, the last nib for the Montana Black marker range is the 15mm shadow nib. This is essentially the same as the acrylic multi-line nib. Now moving on to the rest of the parcel, and it seems like they've sent me a significant amount of markers. Yep, these are the empty acrylic markers, and this one in particular is the 15mm wide nib. This next one is the one up from that, which is the 30mm marker. This next one isn't a wide marker at all, it's a outline marker. And here we have another 30mm marker. Here we have another fine marker, but it's not just a normal fine marker, it's an extra fine marker, which is 0.7mm and comes down to a fine tip. Here we have 2mm fine marker. Here we have another 2mm fine marker. Here we have another extra wide 30mm marker. And finally we have the extra fine 0.7mm marker. With the 15mm wide marker. Now the extra fine markers obviously for small detail work such as small outlines, hatching and hair strands for example, while the 2mm is more for just general outlining, small colouring in and just a generally thicker line to the smaller one. Now the 15mm is obviously for colouring in bigger spaces or to be used for calligraphy. and the same can be said for the 30mm as well. Once again, moving on to the rest of the parcel, and we seem to have a little box, and the little box contains small acrylic refills. This would explain why they've sent the applicator tip set as well, because these are the bottles I mentioned earlier that you use the applicator tip set with. This pack includes 3 25ml bottles, including black, silver and white. This paint, stated on the packaging, is a high quality water-based acrylic paint that's all-purpose, high covering. This paint is suitable for all mixed media art tools such as markers, brushes, sponge and airbrush, as it's a water-based acrylic paint. It is UV resistant, quick drying, and is suitable for interior and exterior use. It's high coverage, and with it being highly pigmented, you'll need to shake it well. And now finally onto the last package of the parcel, and it appears to be some refills. And yeah, they've sent the larger version of the acrylic paint refill. Here we have an outline silver, oh, and a Montana black dye ink as well. And then we've got another acrylic black there. The next paint I pulled out the parcel is essentially the same paint. It is just the Montana acrylic again, but in a bigger container. These containers are much bigger than the 25mm containers and have a capacity of 180ml. Now this is the last thing I pulled out of the parcel, being the Montana black dye ink. It's not water based and it uses an alcohol base instead, which it states on the label, along with it saying permanent ink, UV resistant for interior and exterior use, and it being waterproof. It comes in a nice size 200ml bottle and has a nice convenient applicator at the top so you don't get ink everywhere. I'd once again like to thank Montana Cans for this opportunity, and thank you for all the products they've sent me. I'll be looking forward to reviewing and using these products, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This has been HexxInkworks with the Montana Cans unboxing. Peace out guys.